What's up, guys? Welcome back to the ranch. All right, ranchers, today definitely doing another B-side here in the winter. I'm in my workshop and I'm going to be making a porch style swing for down by my pond. I built one a few years ago. It's been down there for 5 years, but it was only like 2 boards. I'll show you. I got it right here. It was only like 2 boards wide, and I didn't think there was enough room to hang from my apple tree, so I only made it this narrow on chains. And it ended up being awesome, but it's a little narrow and there was no back on it, so I wanted to take it home this winter and update it. I mean, I got like 5 years out of this. I think I have the date and my name on it somewhere in here. Let's see. There you go. March 2019. So I got a few years out of this. It's time to update it and make it even better, so it's a little more comfortable. You can lean back and sit on this swing down by the pond, watch the fish, watch the waterfall, and glass out over to my food plot way up into the property and maybe see some deer. All right, guys, let's get to building. We got the wood here on my wood shop floor here. There's Bigfoot. If you didn't see me make him, I could include a link up here somewhere. But all we're going to be making this with is some pressure treated 2x4s. I got 4 of them, or 2x3. Couldn't find this pressure treated, but if you can get that in pressure treated, this will be outside. And then I got, decking, the 1x6s panels. I got 3 of them. I'm probably going to use like an assortment of screws, but thinking about like decking screws, 2.5 exterior inch decking screws. First thing is to rip all these 8-footers down to 4 feet. This swing will be 4 feet long, just like it was originally. Was the original. Oh, there's my tripod where I film. All right, let's rip. Everything's all cut for the frame and for the seat of the swing, like the lower portion. So we got these all cut to 4 feet. I got a 2x4 cut to 4 feet, second 2x4 cut to 4 feet, and then I have everything cut across to line up with these 3 seats, and I believe that was at, I have it marked somewhere, let's see. $13 3/4 for the length of this, if you wanted to go by what I'm doing. These were just, cut and put in the middle. This is for some extra strength. My buddy Chris is always like, wow, you don't need this much. I would have been fine with the cross right here. But I like to add this extra support, like this extra kind of cross cat, because when I hook the chains up to the outside, there's going to be a lot of force pulling like from here. So I want to support this joint this way and support here with another couple of screws. It's a little bit of an overkill, but the last thing I want is my 7-year-old father and stepmom falling to the ground and hurting their backs. So I'd rather put a few extra boards in. Let's screw all this together and screw this down on top, and we'll take it from there. For this project, I'm going to be using 2.5 inch wood screws, just to, come across and get into that. And come across and get into that with more than enough. I probably could have used 3-inch screws if I had them, but I don't, and I think 2.5 is going to be more than strong enough, especially when I put it all together and it becomes like one solid structure. All right, guys, let's screw this together. Frame all set, and let's screw on the top to the top of the frame and set the bench up. Lining up my boards on the top, and I decided not to use the larger 2.5 inch screws. I'm going to use 1 5/8 to go in to these boards on the side, because this will be more than enough bite. If I show you around this way, this will be more than enough bite on the top of the screw. I don't need to use anything longer than that, just to hold these in place. So that's what I'm gonna do here. As you can see, I am no professional. I bet there is a construction guy watching this who is going to freak out. But you know what? This is more art than construction, and for art, you can do it your own way. So I'm going to start very flush in the back end of this, and then I'm going to leave a slight little overhang on the front, just because that's how I want it to look. And I'm going to try to space these out with some of those fat screws, just so I get the water to drip and the snow to drip in between all the slats and boards. All right, let's do that. So the top is screwed down, and I started building the way I planned on building again in my head, and I actually am gonna stop and do a little bit of a correction that I wanna make on this project to make the arm a little shorter and to hang off the front of this. So I'm gonna actually take this front board off for a second. Stay tuned. So I decided to attach the front peg instead of to the front here. I decided to come back a little bit so I could leave a little bit of a hangover that comes to the end as opposed to sticking out past the flat part of the bench. So I traced out my 1x3, traced it out, drilled a couple of holes in the corners, and used my little jigsaw to cut out the same shape as this. And now I'm gonna just tap this down and screw this in. And this will be the base. This will be the base for our handle right there. And then on the other side as well. Same thing. So I tapped it in, made it flush with the bottom. It's right here, and I'm gonna screw in 1-2 screws to secure that into place. All right. I'm big into pre-drilling if you haven't noticed. Now we're doing for the same for the other side. So this is where we're at. And the front legs, well, the front supports for our armrest, and now we'll do the back. So I set the saw to 10 degrees, and I kind of marked where like as much meat about the halfway point on here, and I'm gonna cut just enough where I can push up against the saw and keep this flush and flat. Definitely not the best way to cut a piece of wood this way, but it's what I'm doing. So let's cut. Two pieces that'll set the backrest on a little bit of angle there, so it's not so straight up and down when you sit on the back of the bench. So let's attach that now. These boards were 20 inches tall, so 20 inches from the base to the top. This is where we are. We have the arms attached. These were these back pieces were 20 inches tall. Like I showed you that weird cut. Probably have a better way to do that, but like I said, I am no professional. You guys figure that out. These armrests were 16 inches, sitting right on top and level, and they are attached inside and two on the top there. And now we have, this is where we're at. So these were 2x4s. They're 20 inches tall before the angle cut, the back angle. The back angle is not necessary. I did that just to make it sit a little more comfortable than straight up and down. You don't really have to do something like that. That was definitely me pushing the boundaries a little bit on my abilities. You can see the nice spaces I left in between the boards to allow for drainage. The snow doesn't sit on here. And now we're going to take our last two 1x6s and put them on the back. So there we go. The basic bench is all set. Now I just gotta add the chain. Drill the hole and put the hardware into the chain. So I stood this up on its end. And now we're going to take the hardware out of my old swing, which is like an eye loop. I'll run it right through in here, one back here, and put that in. That'll be the chain. That'll be the support to hold the swing. All right, guys. The next step I'll be doing is sanding. And truth be told, I already sanded. I forgot to run the camera, but same thing. Fast motion sanding. I did a real quick job, because this is like a rustic build, and it doesn't need to be 100% perfect, but it's much smoother. Took all the rough edges off, and now we're gonna. The swing is up. I wanted to show you a couple of things. I decided to add a little back eye loop right here, drilled into the back rest, so this way the swing would not teeter as much. And then we're still down here in our original holes that I drilled and showed you. And we come straight up, and I got tire swing straps around the tree on both sides that these hook into with the chain, and that's where we connect it in. We come around the back through the eye loop, and that's it. I got these great little clip-on cup holders. I'll include the link to them in the description of the video if you're interested in them. And here we go. I'm gonna sit there and enjoy Ms. Clover now, and enjoy.